Good evening, Rocky. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, fantastic. Welcome. So share your screen. Let's see how that looks.
Okay. I think you have to make me the host. An host.
The co-host. Okay, yeah, that's true. Hey, Timbo, welcome to the program. Okay, I've made you the co-host, so you can share now.
All right. Please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, I can. Fantastic. I can see your screen. So you can put it on slide mode. It's kind of showing presenter view here.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Mm.
This is the new. I updated my this thing. So
Your
yeah,
PowerPoint.
updated. Yeah, updated my system. So there's this. I'm coming. I'm trying to go about it. Uh, how do I do this? Okay. I think this is where it's meant to be. Please tell me if it's bolder.
Okay, yes, it's showing full
Oh, don't
slideshow.
mind. I was using this those bigger screens. So yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. I think in case I think we'll be having a power outage by probably by 5 because I'm on the rig. So but to come up immediately. So just in case.
Hope it doesn't affect your presentation.
No, no, no. The Wi-Fi is connected to this what is it called? UPS, I believe. So it's going to be on till they on the gen back.
Okay, but it's not going to be for long, right?
No, it's just about like I think maximum 1 minute if it's too long, safe.
Okay. Which rig are you on?
It's on like we currently are trying to prepare for drilling. We've not started drilling per se. So we have two locations. So I'm at one of our locations. It's kind of an offshore.
That's good. That's good. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Okay,
So at least we still have 10 minutes before we kick off.
okay, no problem.
Um, You could use it to just test the slide or anything you want to do before that. I can see a symbol in the call. Is it the same speaker we're supposed to have? Is it the same as a T-Bomb Philip? If you can please respond, trying to know if it's our speaker. T-Bomb, you could kindly unmute and respond.
Hello.
Yeah, T-Bone. Okay, this is a male's voice. There's definitely not our speaker. I just needed to confirm.
All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay.
What is it? What happened to your allowance?
Hello, Ogechi.
For that is meant to show dates and sign.
Yeah,
Ogechi. Yeah,
okay.
okay.
Should we start or should we?
I think you are echoing. Maybe you're using both two devices. Try to mute one. Kind of echoing.
Confirm it has stopped echoing.
Yes, I think it's okay now. So let's give at least 2 minutes. We're yet to have some persons on the call, which I'm expecting to be on the call before we proceed. So let's give 2-3 minutes tops. Apologies, participants on the call, especially those who joined before times. Just apologies for this extra few minutes. We'll give to have some persons join the call, then we'll proceed. Thanks.
All right.
I think we have a speaker on the call already. Still, we'll proceed in 2 minutes. That is by 5:03. Okay, Chi, just take me. So once it's 5:03, just proceed. Yeah, thanks.
That's okay. All right. I think we can start. It's 5:03 now. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the call. I think I should say Happy New Year because this is our first technical section of the year. So Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome. So welcome to our online technical section on navigating data privacy, ensuring responsible use of generative AI in academic and professional setting. My name is Ogechi Felicia Osemika, a graduate intern at Matrix Energy ENP, and it's an absolute honor to be your moderator for today. So today's section is going to be loaded, filled with a lot of opportunities to learn, and I think the topic is very vital in both professional and academic setting because I personally I use AI a lot, so having an opportunity to learn how to use it is going to even be more of an advantage. So without wasting any more time, we're going to move I'm going to just give us a rundown of our outline for the program. So we're going to have our moderators welcome, which is what I'm taking now. We're also going to have our safety briefing. Of course, we know how important safety is, and that's going to be taken by Samuel Nnamdi. Then we're going to have our opening remark, which is going to be taken by Engineer Amalati, and we're also going to have our speaker's presentation, which is the reason we are all here today, which is going to be taken by none other but than Mrs. Etenbook Philip. And also we're going to further have then we're going to have our questions and answer session, and then the photograph, and then our closing remark. So please can anybody confirm if you can hear me, please?
Yes, okay, I can hear you, Kechi.
All right. Thank you very much. That's noted. Okay, so we're going to be moving straight up to our safety brief, which is going to be taken by Samuel Inamdi Ikioma. Um, Samuel, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Okay, so Samuel is currently not on the call. I guess he's having some challenges. So I would take the safety brief on his behalf. Like is customary and tradition, ensure that we observe the following safety precautions. So first of all, ensure your mics are muted when you're not speaking, so you don't cause disruption in course of this program. And underneath your screen, somewhere around your screen, you can see some features where you can use the raise hand button in case you have something very pressing you need to, to talk about. Then you'll be given an opportunity to use your mic to speak up, if given. So ensure that if you're using a headset, your volume is not too loud that you can't hear what is going on around you. If you're at your workplace, like Ogechi is already, make sure that you are at alert. You can hear the fire alarm, and emergency information, that you're not so overwhelmed with what's going on today. Always stay safe, practice good hygiene. If you are sitting, ensure you are ensuring ergonomics. You're not slashing and you're sitting upright, so you don't sort of cause discomfort in your back and all of that. Like I mentioned already, if you want to speak, you can use the comment section. It's always there for you to ship in whatever you want to say. For sake of clarity, you could indicate by saying C before your comments to indicate that it is a comment, then Q before your question to indicate that it is a question. And as the conversation proceeds, you are encouraged to use the comment section, drop your questions, your ideas as the conversation proceeds. And I hope you have a wonderful session for the rest of the event. Thank you, and back to you, Ogechi.
All right, thank you very much, Lucky. So please let's try as much as possible to adhere to the safety brief Lucky just gave us, because safety cannot be overemphasized. Like we say in the field, safety first. So let's try as much as possible to adhere to that. So we're going to be moving to the next thing on our list, which is our opening remark, which is going to be taken by Engineer Amalate and Obiebite. I really hope I got that right, ma. PhD, FNSC. Ma, please, the floor is yours. Hello, ma.
Ogechi.
Thank you very much, Ichi. That's a great
Yeah.
attempt. It's actually Amalate. A very good evening to all.
Yes, ma, please go ahead.
Confirm you can hear me well, please, and I'm not echoing.
Yes, ma, we can hear
Oh,
you
great.
very well.
Thank you, Mr. Lucky, for the great safety tips. And good evening, everyone on the call. So on behalf of our chairman, the section chairman, Mr. Tamunotoye Biambo, I'm delighted to welcome you all to this very timely and insightful technical lecture to be taken by the speaker for today, Etimbuk Philip, on navigating data privacy, ensuring responsible use of generative AI in both the academic and professional setting. As a section, we are excited to have you all on the call join us today as we explore the critical issues surrounding data privacy, and as well as the responsible use of AI, which is everywhere now. I believe our expert speaker who is already on the call will share valuable insights and practical strategies to help us navigate this complex issue. So permit me once again to thank you all on behalf of the chairman and ESCO board members of Section 104. Thank you for taking time to participate in this webinar today. We look forward to your active engagement and contributions all through the webinar. And I declare this program open, and let's get started. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Amen. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much for that wonderful open remark. So we are going to go to the next on our program, which is a brief introduction of our speaker. So I'm going to be reading a brief introduction of our speaker. So meet our speaker, Etumbok Philip. Etumbok Philip is a law graduate from the University of Uyo and a Bar Part 2 candidate. She's deeply passionate about the intersection of engaging technologies and law, particularly the ethical development and deployment of AI. As an avid researcher in the field of generative AI, Etumbok has distinguished herself with several published works. Currently, she is a young professional researcher at the International Law Association, ILA, Nigeria Committee on AI, New Tech, and International Law, where she aims to contribute to global tech policy advancements. And Etumbok firmly believes that with determination, anything is achievable, and she holds God as her anchor. Wow. So, without any further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker, Mrs. Etumbok Philip. Ma, the floor is yours.
Hello,
I
everyone.
think
Good
we
evening.
should give for the rappers. Good evening. Good evening, Ma.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Good evening to every single person on this call. So my name is Etumbok Philip. I don't know if I have the permission to share my screen with you.
Yes, Ma, you do. Just a minute so I can stop sharing mine. Okay, please, can you
All right.
sharing?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can I proceed?
Yes, you can, please.
Okay, please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, we can now. We
Hello.
can see. Yes, Ma, we can see your screen. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Sorry, please give me 1 minute.
No problem.
All right, thank you so much. So I've been given a very interesting topic to
Sorry, Ma, please, can you put it on slideshow
speak
so
on
that
this evening, and I'm going to try my best to do justice to it without being so tech. So this evening we would be discussing together on navigating data privacy, ensuring responsible use of generative AI, and academic.
your screen has gone off? I think the
I
call
think,
has.
mm, oh, probably she's having network glitch. Just a
Let's
minute.
just, yeah, let's give her a few minutes so that she can get back on call. Okay, I don't know. Can you try reaching out to her?
I think she's back on the call. Atiba, please confirm you can hear us.
But please, can you confirm you can hear us?
Okay, Chi. While we try to reach out, just few minutes, guys. This happens, network glitch right there. So please exercise some patience while we get her back on the call.
All right, no problem. Um, so I'm Lucky. Can you try reaching out to her? Okay, okay.
Hello, I think I'm being heard now. So sorry for the disruption.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's not clear. It's kind of lagging. It's having network problem. But please confirm you can hear us.
But let's try to can you talk without presenting? Then if you can share your slide with us, let's do the sharing of slide from our end. Could help with the network instead of sharing and presenting at the same time.
All right, thank you so much. I think that works. I'm so sorry. MTN is so frustrating.
All right,
Of
please
all the
forward.
days to be so annoying.
All right, please forward the slide to Samuel immediately. Let's
Okay, I'm going to share the slides with Samuel now.
Okay, Chair. The slide will be forwarded to you shortly, so you can just quickly share from your end. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Hello. I believe you can see my slides now.
Yes, we can.
Oh, so sorry for the stress. Thank you so much. So because of time, I'm just going to proceed very speedily. So like I said, we would be discussing on navigating data privacy, ensuring responsible use of generative AI in academic and professional settings. So in doing this, I have my table of content here, and we would be looking at the introduction, definition of terms of course, the laws regulating data privacy in Nigeria, data privacy concerns in generative AI, ensuring responsible use of generative AI in academic and professional settings, and then the conclusion. So as an introduction, we have here that the fast pace of technological advancement advancement has brought many new concerns, one of which is and we are
Simple, you are,
area
we can't
to
hear
ensure.
you. We can't hear you. It's really lagging. The
Now,
conversation is
and data
lagging. It's simple. Just try to stop sharing while Ogechi, you have the slide already, right?
Hello, can
Yes.
you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. So just go ahead while your slide comes up. Ogechi is going to bring that up shortly. So yes.
All right, no problem. All right, that's fine. So I think I'm just going to go back since I was not being heard. So I was trying to introduce the concept of generative AI and its intersection with data privacy and protection in Nigeria. So we understand that the fast pace of technological advancement has brought many new concerns, some legal, some ethical, in the field of generative AI. And it's important for us to understand these issues, address them, and make sure that it's mitigated. A significant regulatory focus in Gen AI, please allow me to call generative AI Gen AI for short, is its impact on the privacy and data protection rights of individuals. It's a truth that generative AI intersects with other areas, like I mentioned earlier, such as human rights, bias, discrimination, generally ethics, and even intellectual property. But our focus for this evening would be on data privacy and protection. So generative AI poses various privacy risks, including data breaches, unauthorized data sharing, and a whole lot of others. So data privacy is very critical in this age where we have a lot of information online. Then it ensures that individuals retain control over their personal information. And also ensures that organizations and even professional bodies comply with pertinent privacy laws. In Nigeria here, good enough, just recently, the Nigeria Data Protection Act was enacted in 2023. It draws most of its provisions from the GDPR, that's the data protection regulation for EU. So moving forward, to lay a proper foundation to what we are to discuss this evening, I'm going to provide some very brief definitions of our key concepts, being generative AI and then privacy. So generative AI refers to deep learning models that can generate high quality text, images, and other content based on the data they were trained on. So you see generative AI models as having wide capabilities. They can process various types of content. We have text, email, social media posts, data, infographics, and what have you. So they generate new content. They provide translations, answer questions, and perform sentiment analysis. Now, this is different with traditional AI because traditional AI is based on not based on generating new content. It provides, should I say, feedbacks and does other functions, but not to generate new content. The difference between this Gen AI and traditional AI is that generative AI generates new from the scratch. So you could just prompt your ChatGPT to generate a social media post for you, and it does that from scratch, maybe without your inputs, although you may still need to fine-tune it to an extent, but it gives you new content. Sometimes these things are non-existent. So once you prompt it, it goes back to its corpus and tries to generate content based on what it has been trained on over the months, over the years, or however. So in very simpler terms, generative AI is a subcategory of artificial intelligence to help the user create an image, video, using different instructions called prompts, like I said. So the creations are made possible by large amounts of data analyzed on all web platforms. Now, to explain that, The training stage of generative AI usually involves a process called wave scraping. So before AI developers come up with a software which they call, oh, this is maybe, for instance, ChatGPT, Meta AI, the training phase, they just use an artificial intelligence tool to scrap data from the internet. And some of these data of data subjects. Now, you and I, we are the data subjects. So we have some examples of generative AI tools like Otter AI used for meetings, Copilot, ChatGPT, Sora, InVideo, to mention but a few. Now, Gen AI could be applied in the petroleum industry for predictive maintenance, reservoir simulation, and optimizing drilling operations, amongst others. An interesting fun fact to note is that the number of ChatGPT users is as estimated. Now, this is very important because ChatGPT is just one of the so many generative AI tools we have in the world. So if 500 million people use ChatGPT in 1 month, you can imagine how many people use generative AI tools every month. And the rate at which this topic is very important to sensitize people, to make them understand that it's beyond what you see. So moving forward, since we've established the foundation for generative AI, are you following? Am I being too fast?
Yes, we're following you, ma. Go ahead.
Yes, you are following, you are following.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to proceed to explain privacy in the simplest terms. Yes. So privacy denotes a person's interest in non-disclosure or selective disclosure of confidential information relating to his or her person, including your religious beliefs. It could even be your sexual orientation, your place of origin, your address, genotype, etc. Now, these are details that ordinarily you wouldn't want to disclose to a third party without your consent. Now, every Nigerian, I believe that most of us here are Nigerians, if not all of us, so has a right to privacy. Now, this right to privacy is guaranteed under Section 37 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. Also, this right is provided for in the African Charter, even in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's the Section 37 of the Constitution provides that the privacy of citizens, their homes, correspondence, telephone conversations, and telegraphic communications is hereby guaranteed and protected. I don't know if you understand. So with this now, you come to understand that in as much as the government has a duty to protect your privacy, you also have a responsibility of protecting your privacy, even more than what the government has. Because at the end of the day, if the government does not do anything, the end result of whatever happens by reason of a privacy breach of artificial intelligence. So I already mentioned the Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023 in my introductory stage. So now that act, that is the primary legislation for data protection in Nigeria. The act applies to all forms of processing personal data, including those used by AI systems during the development and after deployment. Now, you will notice that there are 2 things there. When we talk about privacy, privacy comes in 2 folds. At the creation stage of the generative AI tool, which the bulk of the bulk of the work of protecting your privacy is not really in your hands. It's in the hands of the AI developers, because at that stage, whatever information they can find on the internet, whatever information they can lay their hands on, could be used to train the AI model. So now I've talked about the creation part. There's a creation phase, and then the development phase. The deployment phase. The creation and the deployment phase. So the deployment phase is the phase where this artificial intelligence is currently in use. The responsibility of protecting privacy at this stage of the AI development is on the user. You may want to ask me how. When an artificial intelligence model is trained, for instance, ChatGPT has undergone training and then it's published, people are using it, millions of people are using it and all. The way it retrains itself at the deployment phase is through prompts. Now, prompt is that instruction you give to the ChatGPT and ask it to do something for you. Oh, ChatGPT, I've written an article, you paste it. Now, can you go through this, do this and do this and do that? That's prompt. That's the way it retrains itself. That's why sometimes you will notice that if you are consistent in using a particular generative AI tool, once you come back, it will greet you mentioning your name. If you chat with it using Pidgin, you won't even start speaking Pidgin. It will respond using Pidgin. Now, the reason why this happens is that it retains your data, learns from that data, and retrains itself with that data. Now, who supplies it with that data? It's you. The email address you paste, it's you. Your company information, it's you. Everything about your company, your work life, all of those things you paste, it retains the data. Now, moving forward, we are going to look at the laws regulating data privacy and generative AI in Nigeria. I'm just going to mention these ones in passing, so I wouldn't bore us with so many laws. So moving forward, we have the Nigeria Data Protection Act. That's the primary legislation, and I'm going to mention it again and again and again. We have the Nigeria Data Protection Regulation. Now, this was in place before the Nigerian Data Protection Act came into force. It's more like it gave room for the NDPA to come in. Yes, so it's still being used side by side with the Nigeria Data Protection Act. We have the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. Now, this is like the mother of all laws in Nigeria. So it's the one that lays the foundation for the concept of privacy in Nigeria. We also have the Child Rights Act 2023. This one deals with the privacy of children. Now, even in the Nigeria Data Protection Act, there are provisions for children for their consent through guidance and or when you want to process their personal data. So you can see that the NDPA alone is all encompassing. We also have the Cyber Crimes Prohibition Prevention ETC Amendment Act of 2024. We have the Consumer Code of Practice Regulations 2027, also known as the NCC regulations, and we have the Freedom of Information Act 2011. Now, it's important to note that these laws are not exhaustive. There are so many laws on privacy. There are so many laws that touch on data privacy in the audio. Hello, please, am I being heard?
Okay, now you're clear. Before it was kind of breaking off. But yeah,
Okay.
you can go ahead now. It's clearer now.
Okay, thank you so much. So I was just listing out the laws that regulate data privacy in Nigeria. Yes. So since this topic is in two folds, data privacy and then generative AI, since we've mentioned the laws regulating data privacy in Nigeria, if you notice in all my discussions and everything, I've not really mentioned a law that regulates generative AI in Nigeria. So currently in Nigeria, there is no specific legislation on AI. That's the more reason why you should be bothered. However, the Ministry of Communications, Innovation, and Digital Economy, sometime 2023, had announced their steps to engage top AI researchers of Nigerian descent to draft a comprehensive national AI strategy. Now, good enough, in August 2024, this national AI strategy came into place, and this strategy serves as a comprehensive roadmap and guiding framework for harnessing the rapidly evolving technological landscape and socio-economic trends. Now, if you notice, this is not a law. It's more like we know where we are headed. Can we just draft a process of getting there, and what should we expect in the future? So it's safe to say that in Nigeria today, there is no law regulating artificial intelligence. Now, while the 2023 Data Protection Act does not particularly address AI-related data concepts and all. So it outlines crucial issues like data security, cross-border data transfer, and these are very strong pillars for developing AI models. So it is believed, as usual, that Nigeria will enact a comprehensive legislation on AI. So while we wait for Nigeria to do that, let's make it our responsibility to protect our privacy while waiting for Nigeria to come up with an act that is all encompassing, just like what we have in the European Union. Just recently, they enacted their EU AI Act, and we believe that in due time, Nigeria is going to follow this process as well. So moving forward, I'm just going to discuss the data privacy concerns in generative AI. So what I did in the past was just like laying a foundation for where we are headed, because we are now entering into the main content now. So the data privacy concerns in generative AI are enormous. Now, data privacy risks in generative AI systems may occur in the training data phase, like I mentioned, that's the creation phase of the artificial intelligence, when personal data is incorporated, and in the deployment phase, where personal data is used to generate content and the content result itself. So we have the training phase or the creation phase or the development phase, and then we have the deployment phase, like I mentioned earlier. Now, we need to understand that generative AI requires a large amount of training data automatically scrapped from the internet, which may include the personal data of data subjects obtained without their consent. Now, this is for the training stage. This training data are further built upon and updated by the users. The training data are updated by the users and not the developers this time, through their creative prompts. So your prompt is what is used to develop the artificial intelligence after the training phase. Yes, and it's usually used to improve the system and all, meaning that personal data is continuously processed. That's the important part about this. So due to this, the possibility of data being circulated to third parties is very, very high. Imagine if we have 500 million people using ChatGPT in 1 month, and you think somewhere your email address will now appear to somebody in Saudi Arabia. So due to this, the possibility of data being circulated to third parties is very high. And generative AI systems learn through a garbage in, garbage out method. What you don't take in, you can't take out. So the nature of input determines the output to be generated. So now, if personal data is used to train an AI system, there are chances that such personal data will be generated as output to third-party users. Now we understand, like I explained, personal data in simple terms are just data personal to you, like your name, your date of birth, your even your biometrics, things about your physical features, just those things that are very personal to you that you wouldn't just want to let out like that. So the NDPA requires that any processing of personal data shall be lawful. So now the focus of this topic is on the users. We're not really here to try to like, oh, AI developers should do like this and do like that and do like that. Although there are a lot of provisions in the NDPA, Nigerian Data Protection Act, regarding what the data processors should do and all, data controllers and all should do. However, our focus is on the user. You, the user, how are you supposed to protect yourself from harm and everything? So I have a slide here that says exposed. So OpenAI, I believe we know OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT, the company. So OpenAI is reported to have fed ChatGPT with about 300 billion words, which were systematically extracted from articles, blog posts, comments. So even your comment on Facebook can be used to train an artificial intelligence. So that's why you should be careful of the things you let out, even on social media. So comments and other data sets obtained without consent. Now, imagine if they were to obtain the consent of every data subject before processing the data. It's impossible. How do you want to obtain consent from, let's say, 70 million people? It's impossible. So this presents a couple of concerns regarding possible privacy breach. It's as serious as that. So one may wonder, why should I be worried? Why does this discussion concern me? Why do I even need to care? So this is why you should be worried. The first is that most generative AI tools do not have adequate mechanisms for inquiring from users whether it could utilize their personal information for any purpose at all. We call it the opt-in mechanism. You open ChatGPT, sign up and everything. For instance, even Copilot, sign up and you just start using it. There is no button. There is no place that they would ask you, oh, do you want us to use your personal information to retrain the artificial intelligence model? You wouldn't see that. They don't even need your consent to process your data. So this violates the rights of users to privacy, particularly with regards to sensitive data. So sensitive data is the same as personal data. It could be your religious affiliation, your ethnic background, your age, your name, your address, and all of those things. So the NDPA, for instance, upholds the right of every data subject. Remember that you are a data subject, I'm a data subject. So the NDPA upholds the right of every data subject to freely consent to the use of their personal data in a particular way or for particular purposes, and the right to withdraw such consent. So we also have here that another reason why you should be concerned and you should be worried and you should take this kind of trainings very seriously is that ChatGPT, for instance, I'm using ChatGPT because a lot of us are very, very familiar with the system. So ChatGPT, for instance, collects the browsing history of users. For every minute you search, for every minute you prompt it, for every minute you give it instruction, it collects your history and uses cookies to store data, tracking users across the web. It also collects personal data of users, including their email address. So ChatGPT collects your email address, your device IP address, that's your internet protocol address, and location, as well as any public or private information they use in ChatGPT prompts. So if you're not ready to let it out, do not share it with generative AI tool. As simple as that. If it's something you wouldn't want to let out, do not even start sharing it. So it has been revealed that most of these generative AI tools may share or leak users' information and conversations with third parties. For instance, a generative AI tool like Horse Hero, you can go and check them out, retain and share personal data in their possession without prior notice and consent of the user. This may have adverse consequences on the user's reputation, relationship, or profession. Now, how I learned about this Horse Hero is on a very, 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 very personal basis. So let me just give this very little background story that got to this very, very part of the slide. So just last year, I was just trying to track my digital footprint online, which is one of the recommendations I've made here for all of us. You should be able to do that for yourself. So that was where I got to discover that direct numbers of over 200 and something students and their 3 names and every detail concerning them is on the media. Yes, mine inclusive. So we got to discover that after tracing and tracing and tracing, I got to discover that this Horse Hero, right, is a generative AI tool that gives summary of PDFs and other documents. That's exciting, right? It's what every student loves. It just, once you impute your 100 pages PDF, it gives you maybe 3 pages summary of the whole gist in the PDF. Every student would jump on that, definitely. So, however, the clause here is that anything you upload on Horse Hero belongs to them. Yes, they return it, they store it, and they use it to retrain their models. So imagine that I saw all the PDFs that has never been uploaded there, you see everything there, and you see the names of everybody, their roll numbers, and someone in my class of this people want to apply for it to be taken down. Now they'll ask for your name, I think your contact address, and what. For a tool that retains such information, how do you want to trust them with your name, your contact address, and all, just for it to be taken down? So it means you are entering into a deeper mess. So it's better to just leave it there. So that's how serious this is. It's one of my recommendations here when we move forward, that we should read privacy policies and terms and conditions of these generative AI tools. I'm going to talk more on that when we get there. So another reason why you should be so worried about these tools is that if developers use information from user prompts in the retraining of their models, it is possible that such non-public information, that information you do not want anybody to know, could become public. Yes, could become public. And then, for example, if a user prompt includes confidential company information or highly personal information, such information would enter the corpus of knowledge for the model once retrained, such that it might regurgitate the information when prompted. Now, it may regurgitate it to you or to a third party. You never can tell. So most artificial intelligence companies offer no procedures to check whether the company stores their personal information. Like, for instance, ChatGPT again. It has no settings. It has no procedure. There is no place for you to check if it stores your personal data or to request for your data to be deleted. Now, one of the rights of a data subject under the NDPA is the right to be forgotten. That's like your data should be deleted after so amount of time and all. There is no such provision. Yes, there is no such provision. So although some of them may just try to put some very basic things in their settings, on this one, off that one, but you can't tell what happens in the back end. So it's better not to even share in the first place if you can't deal with the outcome. So proceeding, we are going to talk about how to ensure responsible use of generative AI in academic and professional settings. So I have about 10 points here. Is that number one, review the privacy policies. Number one, review the privacy policies of the generative AI tool, including the terms and conditions. Now, one thing I discovered about the Course Hero example I gave earlier about returning data, people's reg numbers, or when I went through their privacy policy, it was to them, and they are going to use it to retrain the models. They wrote a lot of things. Now, we are Nigerians. In fact, we are humans. We do not read privacy policy. Accept. Okay, we just love it the soft way. So nobody takes the pains to read 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages of privacy policy. For what now? We just accept. And you may not know that there are so many things that if you take time to go through the policies before using them, you would just know for yourself and either opt in or opt out. Because some of these AI developers that these measures are your consent, because if you know that is one that you tend to use generative AI models and you want to do it with, you have to train employees. The importance what not to do.
Timbong, I was struggling to hear you. Your network is kind of lagging and it's causing some break. Can you hear us? Timbong,
Please
I
confirm
can't
you're
hear
still
you.
good.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear
Hello, please,
you.
am I being heard?
Yeah, we can hear you now,
Hello?
but we lost you. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we lost you. I think where you said this in the points. So I don't know. Can you start from there? Probably. How should you
Okay,
stay protected? That'll be fine.
okay, no problem. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. So the first way to stay protected is that you need to review the privacy policies of the generative AI tool you intend to use, and even the terms and conditions. So do not just rush to click I agree or I consent or whatsoever without going through the privacy policy. All of us are guilty. All of us, we are guilty. If you want to take the statistics of people here that actually read privacy policies, you would notice that only very few people. Okay.
Timbong, go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I was thinking it has disconnected again. All right. So the second one is that organizations must establish best practices when integrating AI into their workflows. So if you know that your organization is going to use artificial intelligence for most of its work in the company, you may want to train your employees on the importance of not sharing confidential or sensitive information. Yes. Most of the time, to just tell people what they can do with a tool, should not do with it. So it's important to let them know, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Don't do this and don't share this. So trainings like this are very, very important for employees in an organization. So number 3 is that we should ensure that training features are disabled. Now, some generative AI tools provide the feature for you to disable the training, that's the retraining of this generative AI tool. If you go to the settings, you see a lot of things there. So some you can just click off. It's better to off them than to just leave them on like that, in as much as we do not know if this is actually working in the back end. But to be on the safe side, it's better to turn them off if you do not want the model to be retrained with your data. So this adds another layer of protection for you as a person. Okay. So the next one we have is that settings generative tool is used
Sorry, you're breaking off again.
for meetings. Like this, for instance, the host of the meeting should tell other attendees that now the attendees should be given the opportunity about its use prior to turning on the AI. For instance, Otter AI or even Fireflies. You are going to add an artificial intelligence to the meeting. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but you were breaking up. But just continue. Go ahead.
I really don't even know what's wrong with MTN this evening. I'm so sorry. I really, it's
Etimbog,
It's clear.
let's try to share the rest of your slide from our end. I think it will help with the network.
I'm
Just
not,
okay. Okay, she's actually sharing.
Yeah, I'm the
no,
one
I'm not
sharing.
the one sharing. No, I'm not the one sharing.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I'm not.
Okay, all right, please, let's see how far we can go with it. Is it
Um,
possible that you could, let's say, use your, I know it's going to take you out of this meeting, but I think it will help, use your airplane mode, turn it and turn it off. Then, if, okay, you're not using your mobile device.
no, I even had to change like the network provider.
Okay, let's see how far that goes. Yeah.
I really apologize for that. It's not usually like this. I don't know what's going on. So regardless, we cannot be stopped. So I was saying that where an artificial intelligence tool is used for meetings such as this one, so the host should tell other attendees that an artificial intelligence is being used prior to turning on those services. Now, the attendees should be given the opportunity to either opt out or opt in, or maybe ask questions and all that. So I had mentioned an example of Otter AI, even Fireflies, used for taking meeting summaries, creating notes, and all of them. So if we have a meeting like this and you want to add it, it's better to tell people, oh, artificial intelligence is coming, because it takes every single thing. And you do not know if the company shares sensitive information in the meeting. The artificial intelligence will swallow it and still use it to retrain itself. So it's important to create that awareness. It's transparent and very, very advisable. So we also have here that users, this one is very, very important. After this training, after this exercise, this should be the first thing that we should carry out, number 7. So users should carry out periodic checks of their digital footprint. This could be done by searching a combination of your 2 or 3 names on Google. You would be surprised of what you will find. You'll be very, very surprised. So just take a combination of your first name and your last name, or your first name and your middle name. Go and search. Enter all nooks and crannies and see the things available online. So the number 8 is that users in diaspora, I think in diaspora because it's not available for Nigerians, sadly. So you should check which of your personal data is available on the dark web through your Google accounts. That can be done in the settings. Now, I don't know if some of us, we know what the dark web is. It's a very serious and a very dangerous place. So your personal data may be traded for money in the dark web. Yes, may be traded for money. So with this tool on Google, you would check if your personal data is available on the dark web and steps to remove it and all. But because we are here in Nigeria, the feature is not available in Nigeria. So if by virtue of traveling and you are not here in Nigeria, or you can try it out for yourself. And some of us that are using VPN, I believe that with VPNs, you would be able to navigate and try to check that for yourself, because it's very, very important. So the next one I have here is that one of the best ways to prevent accidental data exposure is to limit data access to only team members. You'll agree with me that no matter how you train people, don't put don't put the companies this and the companies that when you are trying to use artificial intelligence to fast track your work progress. They may not listen. So the best thing to do is that if you can, limit data access to only people that need it for their work. Do not just let all the team members know every detail of every project. For instance, every detail of every project about the client, very important, details about your client and all of those things. You don't need everybody to know that, right? So if it's important for you to restrict the data access to only team members, it's very, very important. Now, since imputing sensitive data can expose users to risks if the artificial intelligence uses that data for training purposes, the best way to safeguard yourself is to minimize the amount of data you share with generative AI. I think that's the best advice in all of this. That's the best way to stay protected in the academic or professional settings. Minimize the data you share with generative AI. Minimize the data you share with generative AI. Now, images, for instance, could be used in generating deepfakes. I don't know if some of us know what deepfakes is. In simple terms, Deepfake is just a fake that looks like the original. For instance, an image, there was a time that this thing was trending, I think last year, where people were having a lot of AI generated images and it was just trending everywhere. People were putting their pictures to now give you an AI generated version of yourself. That was very interesting. I applaud them, very beautiful. But do you know that using your image for such purpose could be used in retraining the model? Somewhere, you'll be surfing the internet and you see that an AI generated picture for someone, somewhere looks like your face. Yes, because it used that your face to train the model, and then it's now uses that your face to restructure the face of another person, and the person is so excited. Oh, look at my AI version, it's so pretty. So it's very advisable to limit the images you share with these softwares and all. Then finally, if you can use VPN when using generative AI, it does a lot. Use VPN, just use VPN. If you can, use VPN. So really, that's it. Then for my next slide here, so I see it as a bonus slide because in this slide, I have provided some productive generative AI tools to ease your work. In as much as artificial intelligence has a lot of side parts and bad sides and everything, so sorry about that. A lot of bad sides and everything, we can't deny the fact that it is very, very helpful. So we have some productive generative AI tools here for video, for text, you may want to take a screenshot of this, or maybe I will just share the slide later with Samuel and he will send it across to you. So we have here for video, for text, for image, for research, for data, for audio, for meetings. All these tools here, I have used almost all of them and I'm recommending them on a personal basis. They are very good. They are very, very good. So if you want to be ahead of the game, you want to be 20 steps ahead of your colleagues, you want to be very fast in this 2025. So these are the tools for you to use. And I believe that when you use these tools, you adhere to all the suggestions I've given here, and then your generative AI journey or your generative AI ride would be very interesting. So because of time, I will just be proceeding to the next slide, which is the conclusion of this training. So the conclusion now, we've discussed a lot of things, we've said a lot of things. Every good technological development must embody a bad side. It's a truism. We can't deny that fact. Now, the upsurge in generative AI has led to specific risks in data privacy due to its unique nature of operation. We've discussed these risks in the course of this presentation, where we looked at the creation phase and the deployment phase. That's the development phase and the deployment phase. So while we await a comprehensive regulation on artificial intelligence in Nigeria, it is important that we safeguard our privacy rights as much as we can. Currently, the ball is in your court. There is really no law to say this is what the developers should do. So they are doing a lot because there is no restrictions to how much they can do. So now the ball is in your court. So this presentation has carefully explained what generative artificial intelligence is and the privacy concerns surrounding its use in professional and academic setting. It has also provided practicable tips on how to stay protected as we leverage the advantages of these softwares. Finally, it is expected that with this lecture, attendees will navigate the waters of technology with utmost caution. So thank you very, very much. And I think at this point, I'm done with my slides and I would be entertaining questions from participants, if any. You can see my email address there in case you want to connect with me in the future, and my LinkedIn handle. So thank you so much. I'm so excited to do this with you.
Thank you very, very, very much. Wow, that was a lot, especially for some of us that's been using AI right from our undergraduate level. I'm sure like there are lots of questions on ground. So if you have any questions, please either you signify by raising up your hand, just like Lucky has done, or you can drop your questions in the chat box, then I'll read them out. Okay, so Lucky, please go ahead.
Right, thank you very much, Etimbo. This is very beautiful lecture. I think there's some things we take for granted, and these are one of those things. So my question is this. AI has been like, I think currently it's like our paddy, like I would say, even on social media pages, on your WhatsApp, Facebook, those providers, they now put in some AIs where you can just quickly ask questions, you can quickly chat with them and all of that. It's something I feel like has come to stay, and it's really difficult. I think it's almost impossible when we talk about data privacy with AI, considering the fact that most of these things we do on online, on the internet, I really don't know how to ask this question. For instance, sometimes it's randomly, you just see some things pop up on your Facebook, your Instagram. There are things that you are like thinking in your mind to say, okay, oh, I want to buy a shoe, I want to shop for something. Maybe you discuss it with somebody on WhatsApp, or you discuss it with somebody on Facebook. And the next thing you see on your timeline, it just pops up. You just see shopping, what's it called, apps. You see those vendors, it just pops up. But what you're actually saying with somebody, like you really didn't even say, okay, let me say it outside a chat. How do we now start protecting our privacy when it comes to end-to-end encryption chat with somebody you're having, not necessarily with an AI, but all of a sudden the algorithm just picks it up and they start suggesting those kind of things to you. How do we protect privacy in that instance?
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So, like I said earlier, it's important for you to know how much information you share. Now, aside to WhatsApp, which I know that WhatsApp is end-to-end encrypted and all, I can't really tell if other social media platforms do not have access to your DMs, your inbox, and all. Now, that's another version of generative AI where it's just knows the kind of things to suggest to you at the right time. For instance, Spotify. Yes, Spotify. So some of the times it's not really that they come to your DM to try to like read what you've been conversing with someone. This study. If you notice, when you are swiping through a social media a platform, sometimes you just go, at some point you stop, you click see more, you read something, you pass. Now, there are some kind of contents that you are usually inclined to click the see more actually. Now, this generative AI tools, they take note of that. Yes. So it takes note of the time you spend on each of those posts. It uses that to build its thoughts and its reasoning about your kind of person, the kind of things you will like. Now, if you're used to watching particular kind of videos, yes, the next time it would be suggesting such kinds of videos to you. That is the second arm of it now. So it does that, and it's very good, especially for music apps like that. It's something that you would really, really love. If you're used to downloading some kinds of musics, for instance, it would just suggest those kind of musics to you, even movies sometimes. Then the other part of it, sometimes some of these social media platforms have access to your direct messages. Yes. Aside WhatsApp that has come out plain to say, oh, ours has end-to-end encryption, even your calls, we don't have access to it and all. If they do not say that they do not have access to it, the next thing that we have to believe is that they have access to it. So it all boils down to the recommendation that you should minimize rather the amount of information you share, because you can never tell what is going on in the back end. That's what I have to say concerning that question. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. It's Lucky, please confirm that answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you. All right, any more questions from any other person? Any questions from anybody?
Okay, good evening. Good evening. Please
All right,
confirm you can
Samuel,
hear me.
go ahead. Yes, Samuel, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Uh, the topic really struck deep into me, and I've just been thinking because I've shared a lot. So I want to ask a simple question. For some of us, because I know I'm not the only one on this table that have used, uh, let's say, ChatGPT, for instance, to do a lot of work. So is there any way you can undo what you've done? For example, if you shared some information online, so I'm asking like a general question now because I know I'm not the only person that maybe might have shared some information that you might just say, okay, it's not that private, but you just share it. So is there any way you can undo what you've done so that this uh, Gen AI will not no longer have access to those data? That's the question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Samuel. I had to actually laugh out loud. So there is this saying that goes that never forget. There is no way to undo the information you've shared with it. Like there is no way. The only thing you can do is that moving forward, you have to like minimize its access to your personal data. Please, am I being heard? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So
Yes,
it's
you're
the
being
only
heard.
thing.
Go ahead, please.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. So the only thing to do moving forward is that you have to minimize its access to your personal data. Now, you can do that from your end by knowing how much you share with it. You can also do that technically by going to the settings. Go to the settings of whichever tool you are using. Check if there are ways you could turn off some of these things. You can actually turn them off. But to go back to turn the hands of time and go back to the past to undo what has been done already, you cannot undo them. However, on the side of the digital footprints I asked you to track earlier using a combination of your first and last name or your first and middle name, depends on whichever one is convenient for you. So you can just use all of them. You can trace the origin of some of those personal data. Those are the ones you can undo. Some of them you can trace the origin. Maybe you had shared something in 2012 somewhere, and now it's now there. So you can undo that one by going back to the origin to remove it by yourself. But if it's with generative AI tools, it's permanent. In fact, even if there was a feature for you to undo, I doubt it will undo because it retrains immediately. Yes, it retrains immediately. So even if you can undo, you can't open it and remove it from the memory or whatever. It retrains immediately. So that's why privacy is very important. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very, very much. Samuel, please confirm that answered your question.
Yes, actually, actions have consequences. So we just deal with the consequences of any action we've taken. Thank you so much, Miss Book. I'll track my digital footprint and see what I can do. Thank you so much.
All right, Samuel, thank you very much. I actually laughed when you said because I think I'm also guilty of that, and Sky. Sha, it's well. So okay, I can see Kachi's hand is raised. Okay, Kachi, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
Confirm you
Kachi.
can hear me, please. So I
Sorry,
don't
Kachi,
know
please can you
if,
speak up?
sorry, I don't know if this session is just limited to question and answers, because I have a contribution, not really a question. I don't
Okay,
know if this
please go
session
ahead.
is limited. All right, thank you very much. So concerning AI privacy, the thing is, after you've put something or released any sort of information to the AI, you can't get it back. It's impossible. And no matter what they tell you, they have your data. It's just that they are not using it or they are selling it to. Most of your data actually goes to people that make ads. So people that create ads, they are the ones that use your data the most. So that's why you see like what Lucky asked, you see that when you are feeling like thinking of something, whatever data that you're able to scrape from it, you give it to people that create personalized ads for you. So the thing is that one more thing she mentioned, our presenter mentioned, careful about is, especially when it comes to a company setting, you should not and never post company information or anything related to your company on any type of AI, whether ChatGPT, Gemini, all of them are the same. They use your data. Gemini was trained on the entire internet that Google had access to, like the entire internet. Anything that is on the internet that can be on the internet, it was trained on it. So the thing is, even one time, Samsung, I think because they noticed that their employees were using OpenAI's ChatGPT. So they had to create their own internal LLM, like their own internal chat um, generative AI model. Because the point is, these are competitive companies, so they can take your data or whatever your employees post, they can take it, then sell it to whoever needs it. Even if they don't need it, there are people that surely need it. So they'll sell it to them for a huge amount of money. The thing is that we should just be as careful as possible posting or asking ChatGPT whatever. Now, even if you notice, they usually say it, especially on ChatGPT, they usually say you should not post any personal information like credit cards, passwords, all those things. So you should just be as careful as possible. And no data is retractable on the internet. Once you put it, you put it. So from now on, we should just try our best to be as careful as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kachi, for that insightful contribution. Thank you so much.
Actually, thank you very much for that contribution. Okay, so I'm going to read some comments from the chat. I don't know if Bucky is trying to ask a question, but it says, please, what's the name of the AI you mentioned that shares personal information to others?
I don't think I understand that question. No. I don't think I mentioned any artificial intelligence that shares personal information to others. Every generative AI tool, once you input your personal information, it swallows it and regurgitates to another person or steal you, whatever.
All right. Okay, there's also another one. What do you have to say to students that copy and paste from AI to do their research works?
Okay, okay. All right. Since that is in the academic setting and it's not within the scope of our work, but I'm still going to answer that. So in the EU AI Act, like I said, Nigeria has no legislation on artificial intelligence, right? In the EU AI Act, right, there is a provision that provides for I don't know if I should say it, attribution, where anything you generate from artificial intelligence, you need to flag it as AI generated. So it's plagiarism. Now, in fact, people are already contesting that AI generated content should have copyright protection. Now, imagine if that passes because it's something already obtainable in some countries, right? So imagine if that is obtainable and such output has copyright protection. You now copy it and paste in your research. You stand the risks of copyright infringement. Yes. And it's a very serious offense. So for me, I think if you have a work that is AI generated, acknowledge. Just acknowledge. If you do not want to acknowledge, then edit it. Edit it to have a human touch. Edit it to have your touch and to make it quite different from what you obtain from the artificial intelligence. So please do not just lift things and paste. And if you want to be another way of answering this question, the other part of it is that each and every one of us here, you should be good with prompt engineering. You can maybe take some courses on it, read some articles on it and all. If you are good with prompt engineering, nobody would know. Nobody would know. Combination of these words and these words and this phrases, nobody would know it's AI generated. But if you're not good with it and you are just using the general things that everyone is using, chances are your assignment may be the same with another person's one. Yes. if you are not so good with prompt engineering. So in as much as you want to still, in that sense, go and learn prompt engineering so that you have something very, very different from what every other person has. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think that should do for the questions, because we're kind of running out of time. Okay, so thank you everyone for the questions. If you have more questions, you can as well just probably forward it to the group chat, or so we'll pass the question along to her. So thank you everyone for participating. So we're going to move to our closing remark. Okay, our photograph section. All right. I have to stop sharing so that everybody can turn on their cameras.
Ogechi, I think you skipped the closing remarks
Okay,
segment.
okay, sorry. All right, let me check that. Okay, okay, let's take the closing remark before the photograph section.
I think
So,
it comes after. Okay, let's go ahead. I thought maybe it came before.
yeah,
Apologies. Let's go
no
ahead with
problem.
the photography.
It's still the
Yeah.
same thing. All right, so we're going to be taking our closing remark, which is going to be handled by Samuel Innocence. So Samuel, please, if you're on the call, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, Samuel. Yeah, Samuel, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
I think Samuel probably having network glitch. He told me earlier that he was at the field, so I guess that's the reason why. Anyways, Samuel, confirm you can take a closing remark.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. I
Okay.
can hear you. But
Go ahead, although you have some noise from your background.
okay, pardon the noise in my background. I'm actually at work, so just ignore the background noise. Sorry for that.
Okay, Samuel, it's really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad from your end. Let me do you the honor. Yeah, let me do you the honor. Is it not from Samuel's end?
Yeah, it's from Samuel's end. Lucky, please, can you just take the closing remarks so as
Okay,
to...
let me try to.
Okay, you want to mute him, right?
Yes, I don't think it's from Samuel's end. Mr. Bouncy. Mr.
Okay.
Bounty.
All right, it has stopped. It has stopped.
Okay, please confirm you can.
Yeah, go
All right.
ahead, Samuel.
Yeah, we can, Samuel. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. I really want to appreciate everyone for making our time to join this technical section. Though the time frame for the meeting was short, but I really appreciate our speaker, Ms. Estingo, for making our time out of our busy schedule to speak to us on data privacy. Personally, I would say that I really learned a lot. And after this meeting, I need to do a retreat. I need to go on a retreat and really see how best I can manage how I use my Gen AI. And it's something everybody should do. Everybody should like take a break and actually think on what they do with AI. In as much as AI is good and useful and helpful, but we shouldn't be used, especially for people that are working using exposing company data to AI might as well be harmful. So I really appreciate the speaker for doing justice to that. Personally, I believe that 40 minutes was not enough because I was eager to stay for extra 30 to 1 hour to learn more. So thank you so much, Team Book, and I really appreciate your time for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much. Thank you, our moderator. Thank you, Lucky, for making this program a success. And thank you all the participants for joining. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, Chi, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. Thank you very much.
All right,
So
good to have
thank you very
you.
much. Thank you very much, Samuel, for that closing remark. So we're going to quickly go to the photograph section. So I would kindly ask everybody to please turn on their cameras or their videos. All right. While I stop sharing. All right, just give me a second, please, everybody. All right. Well, so nice to see all of you. All right. Austin, nice to see you.
Oluchi, good evening. It's nice to see you.
Yeah, good evening. All right. So, please, can everyone turn on their cameras?
Turn on your cameras. Let's take the first group photo of the year.
We're going to frame this picture. So,
Honestly, Timbo, thank you for the lecture. It was a brilliant one, very brilliant one. And it's really timely, especially in this our current dispensation of AI springing up everywhere. Really, really appreciate. I was just glued to my screen. Really appreciate. Thank you so much. Look forward to having you in our future programs.
all right.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, Ogechi, please let's have the photograph.
yeah, I think I've taken enough, Seth.
Okay. So let's introduce you guys to our pattern of greeting. So when we say SP, you give a thumbs up to say cleaner energy. Okay. So SP, Ogechi, you want to capture that? SP,
Cleaner energy.
cleaner energy.
SP.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ogechi. Thanks, Samuel. Thanks, every member of the team for making this event a success. We'll see you all in our subsequent programs. Do not forget to always follow us on our social media handle. Follow Etimborn. I'm sure she has a lot to still offer. So we have programs, we have quite interesting programs that will be rolling out subsequently. We have trainings, we have data analytics training coming up, we have leadership development programs, we have a lot of programs packed for you guys for your development this year. So you want to keep tabs with the career and technical team and always be part of our programs. We promise to be very enlightening and educating. Thank you so much. Colleagues, good night from my end.
Thanks for joining. Bye.